this is Tradu, and welcome to my 6th video in the VOD review kill thingy series commentary for Mythic Mana Forge Omega. This is going to be the Soup Hunters. On this fight you're going to be playing Archon, because it's just better. I don't think Void Weaver is realistically going to compete, even though I will definitely play it on farm. Other than playing Archon, you will want Phantasm, which you can get by dropping like Void Shield or something, doesn't really matter, just have Phantasm because it's really nice. And yeah, then for cooldowns, there's not really a hard plan, but one thing to note is that for the hunt, you can solo it with just Dispersion. Desperate Prayer and Dispersion together make it super comfy, but just Dispersion alone is enough. You can't get two in the same phase, meaning you can basically always disperse it. I don't know if you can get two in a row, as in second here, first here. I don't think so. Meaning you can, if you get 1-1 or 2-2, you can disperse both of those sets, which is really useful because it means other people don't have to worry about it. Other than that, just press Desperate Prayer if you're really spooked, or use it with Dispersion to solo. Either one works. And then the Sigil of Chains, this is where you want Phantasm, because this slows you and you can just remove the slow. If you use it to remove the slow, it also means if you are soaking the second hunt, your fade will still be up for that hit. So that's something to note. You get like the double value from it. You can't fade in between Sigil of Chains because it won't be ready to remove the slow otherwise. And that's basically it in terms of cooldowns. You can press stuff in the intermission if you feel like it as well. That's a good spot. But outside of that, you shouldn't really be in massive danger as Shadow, assuming you are not doing the purple zone Soki stuff, which I don't think Shadow should be doing, but maybe you are being terrorized and have to do it, in which case you probably have to plan your defensives around that. Especially Desperate Prayer, because you get a healing absorb and Desperate Prayer can help remove it. But that's it for defensives. For offensive CDs, you just have to slam them on cooldown because the fight realistically lasts around 7-ish minutes, meaning if you delay your cooldowns by too much, you lose part of the last void form. So don't want to do that. So yeah. On pull, you want to crash both of the dudes, or both, like towards both of the sides, so you get all three. And then you want to be hitting Elissa because she has more health than the others, so that's a good thing to main target. You don't want to soak any of the purple swirlies on pull unless you are actually assigned, so don't. And yeah, nothing really happens at the start other than a bit of dodging. So you can just blast in peace. Then the next thing coming up is the hunts and Sigil of Chains. And for the Sigil of Chains, you need to actually land. That is where you get the slow, then you fade. If you fade immediately after being gripped, you don't get the slow removal. And the fade is also gone before this hits. You can see fade still up for the hunt soak. Then you have these cones. The edge of those is really annoying to see when they overlap with these big circles, because they are both purple. And yeah. So be very careful of that. And here again you can see get the debuff, fade it off, walk away. I don't think I actually get a solo on this kill. But what you do if that happens is, like you could see some of the others doing, you just walk on top of your mirror image, the one that's doing the hunt, and then you press Dispersion. And then you try to not be in range of the Blade Dance, because it might make you cancel stuff like that Void Torrent completely unnecessarily. In the intermission, you get assigned to spots that are close to multiple bosses. I think Destro gets prioritized higher, but that's about it. So you will have two in range for sure. If you get, I want to say it's orange and whatever that one is, then you have all three. It looks like star. You want to soak an orb very early in the phase just to get the debuff rolling, and then keep soaking. And one thing to note about the debuffs, the ball dot, is one does about 5 million damage, meaning if you soak 2 immediately in a row, that's 10 million damage. But if you spread it out, it's 15, because you refresh after already having taken essentially 5 million. So if you can soak 2 immediately in a row, that's completely fine. You will live. You can even do 3 if you soak them immediately in a row, but that starts getting spooky. So definitely make sure you always have 1 dot on you. And if you can soak 2 immediately in succession, do so, because that gets the orbs out of the way faster. Here we just continue, same thing, press cooldowns on cooldown, don't stand in any of the things. Ideally move with good GCDs, which I did in this case, but sometimes if you get cornered it can be a bit annoying. Then here we have another sigil with the hunts, fade off the slow, walk away. And then this is what you would do if you had a solo, you just walk on top of your thing and press dispersion. Or you can see here the other Shadow Priest is walking over to his and presses dispersion and just lives. Yeah, you can technically play Master Spell on this fight to be able to dispel off the Soki debuff. You shouldn't need to, healers should be doing that, but it's technically a thing you can do to help out. Just make sure you don't accidentally cleave people with it you don't want to and dispel too much. But yeah. Then here, don't stand in multiple lines, it turns out, because if you press all your cooldowns and then stand in 2 lines, you lose your cooldowns and do 0 damage. So, not great. But you do want to play towards the edge still as ranged, because while you might outrange some healers, you are also putting your lines in spots that are much safer for everybody else, and you'll be in range of fewer other lines. Which clearly didn't help me, but in theory. And then here I accidentally steal a debuff, and we do some juggling to get it back to the right people. But it all works out in the end. And it's just more of the same. We're going to get crypt soon, which you fade off the slow. Boom. Slow gone. If you get the first hunt, you might not want to disperse, as in the first in the sequence, because you are already in melee and can just stretch it across the melee, and it's a DPS loss to disperse. So yeah, there's no real movement involved if you get the first one, so might as well just take it to the face. The only reason you might not is because you are not going to get the next one anyway, so it's a raid damage taken reduction, which might be good. But it is a DPS loss. So. Then another thing, the tanks might need help with their green small images. And as a Shadow Priest, if you are just DPSing and not soaking the ayahs, the purple stuff, then you can help out with that. It does hurt a bit, which is not great, but you can help out with it because you're not really taking any other damage. And here I get the debuff again, doesn't really matter because we're not soaking anything anymore, there isn't anything on the ground. And in this intermission, as Shadow, you are going to just be chilling because you have range on the boss, even if it jumps far and you stay AFK, which is the strat, right? If the boss jumps close, you follow. If it jumps across the room, you don't. And as Shadow with 46-yard range, you can very comfortably stay in range of the boss and also the other ones. And then they just start kind of flopping after this. Maybe even during that intermission. Like you saw, our first boss died right as they were landing. And then here our DH solos, the mage solos, and then we just slay the boss right as he is about to go into intermission and do intermission-y things again. There you go. Good shadow fight. Make sure to disperse if you can. and press cooldowns on cooldown. So yeah, good luck with the Soup Hunters.